All right. Well, let's jump right into it. Goes without saying that you got all of Western North Carolina behind you throughout this whole process. You got a lot of the country behind you, for that matter. But I'm interested. What does it mean to you right now, sitting there, to have Murphy and the region of Western North Carolina, and to carry those regions with you onto such a huge stage?
Yeah, man, it really is a blessing. Through high school, like sports and stuff and like singing locally. I mean, even before all this took off, like I still had like a large portion of the community support. And so it now it's even more, and it's just more support and more love and positivity. And I couldn't be more thankful. Like now it's not just so much like Murphy. It's like the surrounding areas like Robbinsville, Andrews, Hiwassee Dam, just like even Hayesville. Um, and in Georgia as well, like North Georgia, there's Blairsville, Hiwassee, Towns County, like Young Harris, like it's all like there's so many people reaching out, and it's just super positive, and I couldn't be any more blessed than I am right now. Oh, sorry, I
I
can't
got
hear
you.
you.
I got you. I got you now. Yeah, I unmuted there. So yeah, just a rippling effect coming from Murphy, with regards to support. So with your musical style, I mean, the world is getting a glimpse at how an incredible singer you are. But where did you get your influence? What inspired you growing up in terms of the type of music?
Oh yeah, so I grew up in church, and my dad's a pastor, so like it was always church music. So I've got like Southern gospel roots as well as bluegrass, but I really gravitated more to like that that soul sound of gospel music, and like the organ, and the bass lines, and like the funkier like drum like setup, like all of that really just pulled me into music, like even more so than I already was. And like, not saying bluegrass is not great or like Southern gospel music, like I still love that stuff, but it was kind of like those two things kind of like pushed me into something that I really fell in love with. And so, like in my audition, obviously I picked a country song, but I put my own little twist to it. And then, I'm not the only one that's kind of like moving towards what I really like. So I think it's a good setup.
And the judges, one thing that caught my attention, the judges have talked about sort of the emotion and honesty in your voice. So, and maybe it comes from exactly what you just described, growing up in the church. But where do you think that depth comes from, is with regards to your voice?
Honestly, I that's a hard question to answer, but I'll give it my best shot. So, like when you're telling a story, which is what you're doing when you're singing, like at least in my case. So it's like I'm telling a story. I put myself in the shoes of whoever is telling that story, whether that be me or a situation that I kind of like imagine myself in. And so every time I'm singing, I'm trying to relay the emotion that I'm feeling to other people, which is I think that that's how the emotion gets in there. Now, as far as like people hearing my voice, I mean, you could get into the science of all that and stuff, but I've just been blessed with a nice smooth tone from what I hear. So yeah.
Smooth tone. That's one great way to describe it. One of many ways to describe it. So, baseball has been a very big part of my life for a very long time. I know it was a very big part of your life until some surgeries that you've been very public about.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
can you talk whatever you're feeling the most comfortable with? Just a second. That's um, with whatever you're feeling the most comfortable in sharing. Can you talk about that just a little bit in terms of what happened to sort of stop you from playing baseball? But then, can you say something to a lot of the folks here in Western North Carolina that are a lot of the younger folks that are going through something like this? Maybe a dream lost, or so they thought.
Right.
What would be your message to those folks?
Right, yeah. So, I played all 4 years, started as a freshman. It was all like it felt like things were going my way in that regard, like as far as sports go. And so I started slowing down a little bit. I mean, I hit the scene like stealing bases. I wasn't like a heavy hitter, so it was like, let's get one to right field and see what we can make of it. You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of just relied on my speed. And so then, sophomore comes around. That's COVID year. Didn't really get to play much because of the social distancing and stuff, whatever. But then junior year rolls around, and I'm really slowing down. Like my knees are really getting to me. Like I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe I needed to stretch more. But we made it through the season, playing travel ball as well after my senior year. I mean, we're doing showcases. I'm playing with a team out of uh, East Cobb, the Astros. So I'm like getting like, I'm like, all right, this is it. Like we're gonna go play college ball. But then I get into my senior year and it's like, oh my gosh, I wake up in the morning after a game or practice and I can't move. Like I can't even get down the stairs. And so what I ended up doing was I was getting cortisone shots in my knees, and nobody could figure out really what it was. I wasn't really wanting to spend a ton of money on an MRI, or at least my family wasn't. We all thought it was something fairly small, and so I'm getting cortisone shots. Um, I had too many, but just so I could play. And I kind of knew then, like, if I'm having to get these shots just to be able to run around, like, I don't think that I'm okay. So ended up, we got an MRI, and they saw what was going on. There was a malalignment in my legs. It was congenital. It required surgery. It was a pretty big surgery. It would take a long time to recover, at least a year for one surgery. And I just knew that it was kind of like, it's not my time, like I guess it never was. And so I kind of had to, like, obviously, you start wondering, like, okay, what am I worth now? Like, what's going on here? And because that was my life. And I mean, countless swings on the tee, what goes into it. And so I'm like, okay, well, I've got singing, but I mean, I don't know, like singing's not that cool. I loved it, but I didn't know that, like, I didn't have like the confidence, I guess, that I have now. And so I started singing a little bit more, getting involved like more in church singing, and we would gig out with my band. And like, I started to like, oh my God, like this is my thing. Like, this is my new thing. I'm in love with this. Especially when I started to get to like, dive into music that I loved. And so like my advice to other people, because that's what put me in this position was those injuries. And my advice to people going through the same things, like, man, injuries are common, okay? Especially in high school sports, like whatever it is. I mean, if you're exerting yourself physically, there's going to be injuries happen. That's just part of it, it's part of the risk. And so look, your body's not going to last forever. Mine just happened to go out a little sooner than everybody else's. And you got to find something that gives you purpose that you could do the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Unless something tragic were to happen. But like like those things, these physical things, I mean, that's super temporary. Now, something like singing, that I mean, that could last you a lot more time. And that music is just it's just a broad thing to dive into. And there's so many outlets and so many ways to like get involved. And so I'm not saying that everybody needs to try music when they break their legs, but I'm saying that you need to find something that's going to give you purpose and meaning that's outside of sports, because you're young now and you think it'll last forever, but it won't. I mean, my dad played college ball. He can't move his shoulder anymore. Like, it's not something that's going to last forever.
Very well said. Thank you so much for that. I've got a son that I'm hoping to get into baseball, and now, with that outlook, honestly, that opens my eyes. And by the way, I also played for the East Cobb Astros back in the
Really?
day. Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
eons ago. So that was just I couldn't believe you also played that. That's awesome. Just a few more, Braden. What's been the most surreal, now that you've started this whole new lease on life in terms of this whole other talent outside of sports? What's been the most surreal moment so far in this experience, this American Idol experience?
Oh, it would have to be, so the episode that just aired Monday night. That feeling when everything was done, and I looked at the crowd and I looked at the judges, and a lot of that was, kind of cut to where, you couldn't see the full picture. But from where I was standing, The crowd is all standing up. I mean, there was a standing ovation for a while. And I'm not trying to blow smoke up myself or anything like that. I'm just saying it's so surreal when something that you love so much is like coming back to you. Like that's my success. Like coming back to me is what it feels like. And even the judges turning around and pointing at me like, "Do you hear them?" Like that is the most surreal. That's the most surreal moment. And I love that. It's just like everything that I've been through up to that point had kind of like that was kind of like my payment back. Like here it is. And I think that there's a cool disconnect in music when the crowd is not thinking about anything else besides the music that's coming from you. And I'm not thinking about anything else besides the music. And so it's like everything that you got going on at home kind of gets put to the side for a little bit. And that's also surreal. And that's also why I do it. I mean, that's the main reason. It's like I'm helping people and I'm helping myself at the same time through this thing that I love. And I don't consider it work. So that's just I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better.
Well, and to even get to that stage, that surreal moment that you just described, you had to, make the choice to audition in the first place. And you said at first that you were too scared to do anything on that level. So what was that moment that you just said, you know what? I'm not scared anymore. I'm going for it. Can you describe that decision?
Yeah, so growing up, I kind of like, when I was little, ever since I could like I was able to think, like sentient, I guess, whenever whatever the word is, but I always thought like, okay, I want to be a singer when I grow up. And then obviously that changed like when sports started to become a huge part of my life, but like that always was there in the back of my head. Like I want to be a singer. I want to be successful in singing. And it kind of stuck with me just in the back of my head. And then baseball wasn't a thing, and then it kind of got pushed to the forefront again. And it's just it's just such a blessing to know like how far I've come. And then like your question was like making the decision to audition. I didn't make the decision. It was somebody else that made it for me. I had a friend growing up, Noah Rogers. He always told me when we were kids, he was like, "Hey, if you don't sign yourself up for American Idol or something like that, I'm gonna do it for you." And so I'm sitting at work, I get a call, and I thought it was a prank, but now here we are. And as soon that day when I found out that it was real, I was like, "Hey, I've waited around too long. Like I'm tired of feeling like I'm not, giving what God has given me or using what God has given me rather." And I just said, "We're just gonna go. We're just gonna dive into it like full force." And that's what we did, and it's paid off to this point.
And yeah, and oh, by the way, with your brother's support, with him being right there,
Oh,
which
100%. Yeah.
yeah, which you said he's been your rock, which I find someone with two brothers, I love that. And Braden, just one more for you. You're for everyone that's going to be watching Monday night. They left us with a cliffhanger, of course. Last week as we knew they would. But for everyone watching here in Western North Carolina on Monday night, what would you want to say directly to the folks? Not like you said, not just in Murphy, but in the region.
I just want to say thank you guys. Like I don't have like a specific message. I just want to say thank you, really. I wish I could give back to you guys what you've given me, which is like so much support and love. And the only thing that I can think of is just to go at it with all I've got. So stick around, see what happens. Maybe I go through, maybe I don't, but I still appreciate your support so much. And I'm going to continue to go down this path of music, and hopefully we could have that same disconnect I was talking about earlier, like putting all our problems aside and kind of like focusing on music. And I love sharing that with you guys. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Braden. And Luke says you're the favorite. I mean, come on. So you got us behind you. You got everyone behind you, man. The best of luck to you, and we cannot wait to see what happens. No matter what, we all know it's going to be great things. So we appreciate your time, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. This has been great.